Hey guys, so this video is going to be a bit of a do-it-yourself on how to check and clean your drum brakes on your caravan. There are a lot of these videos on YouTube. The reason I decided to do my own is that I couldn't find one that was specific to the type of drum brakes and wheel bearings that I had. I watched about 15 videos and they were all slightly different. So I just thought I'd cover the process on something that's the same as ours. Yep. The reason that I wanted to inspect my drum brakes is that we were finding after travelling an hour, 2 hours in the van, when pulling into our caravan park or our campsite, there was a really loud, high-pitched squealing coming from the brakes. Next time we jumped in the van and drove off, that squealing wasn't there, so it was something that was sort of happening after a couple of hours of driving, I guess, a little bit more dust and a bit of heat. I'm not a mechanic, I'm a chippy, so we're just a travelling family. I'm trying to figure out as much as I can about servicing and maintaining the van myself while we're on the road. One, to save money, but more importantly, number two, so that if we get stuck somewhere with an issue, hopefully I can know enough to problem solve and get us back on the road. So this is the first time I've done this today. I was fortunate enough to have a neighbour who came over when he saw me struggling with it. He's done this stuff before plenty of times and he helped me out and showed me the right way to do it. So I'm confident enough, I guess, in making a video and showing you what I've learned. But yeah, just to let you know, I'm not a mechanic. We'll jump on outside and get stuck into it. Alright, so once you have your wheel off, we need to remove the drum. We need to take this little cap off first. It's like a dust cap, I guess, for the wheel bearing. So we just take a small flat blade screwdriver or similar and just pop it in there really gently and just work your way around, levering it off. So I'm just going to pop a rag down here to catch the bearing and all the other little bits and pieces to try and keep them out of the dirt. So just got to take this split pin out, take that nut off. That pin out, so you should get a few of these as spares while you're doing the job or before you do the job. Now this lock nut needs to come off. Now, if you pull that drum out enough to see the wheel bearing loosen up there, then you just take that wheel bearing out and pop it down somewhere out of the dirt. And then your drum can come off. Alright, so I won't be replacing pads or wheel bearings or any of that sort of stuff today. I'm purely just going to be hitting the inside of this with some brake cleaner just to remove a lot of the dust and crap out of there. So if you were replacing your wheel bearing, there it is there. So it'd obviously just be a matter of throwing this one out and putting the new one in, and I'll give you a little look at how that all goes back together, just in case you need it. So I'm just going to hit all this now with some brake cleaner once I get this stuff out of the way. Alright, so what I've got here is just some brake cleaner from Super Cheap. I'm just going to give it a good spray. Okay, as you can see, that is a lot cleaner than what it was. So it's just got rid of a lot of that gunk, brake dust all around there. This little guy here, just in case you're wondering, is the magnet for the Alco electronic braking system. So apparently, according to my neighbour, there's supposed to be a little clip that holds this in place. I did go to a caravan repair place while I'm on the road and try and get one of those, but I couldn't seem to get one that would fit, so I'm just going to let it sit in there and see how it goes until I can get the whole thing pulled apart and serviced. Alright, I'll start putting this stuff back together and cleaning up the other side. So this is the other part of our drum, I guess the cover. I don't know what the official name is for it. So you can, I don't know if you can, how well you can see, but there's a fair bit of dust and things in there as well, so I'm just going to clean that up without getting anything where this grease is. Alright, so I've given that a really good spray inside there, just obviously making sure that the edge that the pads are going to touch is really nice and clean. And we don't really want to spray inside there unless you plan on degreasing that and then re-greasing it up, which I won't be today because there's plenty of grease on mine. I only had the electronic brakes fitted about 8,000 k's ago, so wheel bearings and everything are all still good there. Alright, so now this is all clean, I'm basically just going to throw the cover back on, bearings in, tighten it all up. So obviously just important to make sure that bearing goes back in the right way. So the trick I'm told with this is that you to tighten this up quite firm with a shifter or something similar till that won't spin freely, and then just using a set of multi-grips, you just want to turn it back to the previous position. If you can't undo it with your multi-grips, then it's too tight, you need to back it off. It needs to be loose enough that you can just undo it with a set of multi-grips. And then you can see here now that I've got that in position, if I spin this, I'm still getting spinning out of it, but there's no play in that bearing. Alright, so then I'm going to get my new split pins, I'm going to pop that through into position, and I'm going to make sure it's all nice and secure. Just give that a bit of a tap with the hammer, and then I'm just going to use a set of snips just to cut this off how it was done previously. Alright, so that split pin's back in there, nuts on, that's spinning, not too loose, not too tight. Just got to pop this cover back on. There's a little bit of a trick with these as well. Just got to be careful, these aren't very strong. So obviously just making sure you haven't got any grass or dirt or any crap stuck on that area. And just popping this back in. And just lightly tapping, working around with the hammer to get it in. And then just using a screwdriver and a hammer at the end just to tap that up nice and firm. Alright, that's it. I'll get that wheel back on now. Alright, so wheel's back on. So obviously just repeat that process for each of your wheels. Make sure your wheel nuts are all tight and you're good to go.